considered for that, come up and put your name on a piece of paper, put it in the hat. I'm very conscientious about my volume now.
Can I tell the story?
Sure.
So Steph just had the privilege of moderating a panel with John Cleese. It went really well. It was great. She did a great job.
Yeah, right?
And the first two, and this guy, John Cleese, he's 85 years old. He's a little hard of hearing. And so she was like, going to speak up so she could repeat the question. And immediately, he's, why are you so loud?
Why are you yelling?
Why are you
have
yelling?
A microphone in front of you. Let's just take a drink of water. I was like, okay. I'm not even thirsty, but I'm good. Honestly, like John Cleese told me to stop yelling. That's a
put it on your resume.
Life high. I am. I'm gonna put it on my brain kit.
Hell yeah.
Yells at John Cleese. Yeah.
So loud.
Honestly, that is
Your brand.
yelling is my brand. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Build Your Brand. We are the InADDition podcast. We do a sometimes bi-weekly streaming show on Twitch. That's basically like The View, but not. But it's us. So we bring a couple different random topics. We talk about them. And also, coincidentally, in real life, all four of us work in media, marketing, art, video, communications. So we have a lot of experience in building brands for ourselves, building brands for our friends. Between us, I think we have 8 or 9 streams and podcasts that have popped up and down and back and around. So we have had a lot of years in this, a lot of collective years in branding. And we were really excited. We did this panel last year. We built a brand kit for someone who came up, built a logo. And so we brought it back. We had a lot of fun, and it was cool to get to chat about brand with someone who we've never met before, come up with some things. And in the process, yes, we are focusing on that one person building, but hopefully with the slides and with the conversation, you all can have something to walk away with for yourselves as well in the process. So for those of you who have just come in, if you do want to be considered for that brand kit and logo, please come up, put your name. You can feel free to walk on up, put your name on a piece of paper, and we will pull that after we've done our introductions. So first of all, welcome to the digital media track. The DragonCon charity this year is the Arthritis Foundation. It's very important, and DragonCon is matching up to $125,000 this year, which is very, very cool. So let's make sure they have to do that. Let's make them do it.
Spend
that money.
Get them.
Our track sponsor is Zakat, and Tony took my paper away, but there are a lot of things I could tell you about Zakat if I had that paper in front of me.
Something about the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
They did something with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was the paper for the charity. We know the charity.
Wow, Tony. Yeah, no kidding. You're not
Zakat. For over 22 years, they've been empowering lives through disaster relief, food distribution, orphan care, and more. Their top-notch ratings from Charity Navigator and BBB Wise Giving Alliance means your contributions are going to make a difference. Zakat.org. There are QR codes on this banner for you to donate to the charity and also to thank Zakat for all that they're doing. Now, I'm going to toss this to all the way on my right and let Tony P. Henderson introduce himself.
Yeah, hey, my name is Tony P. Henderson. I do moderating here at DragonCon. I also work in a consulting firm that makes training videos, training material, and it's all focused on branding. It's different from company to company. I work with different companies, and so we have to quickly learn their brand, learn their style. So that's where I can hopefully help.
All right, Mike Cragnola.
Hey, I'm Mike Cragnola. My day life is as a program manager for a large tech company. Some of my key stakeholders are our brand marketing team, our product marketing team, and our product development teams. And so I kind of sit in the middle as the hub to a spoked wheel and make sure all of our folks are talking to each other in the languages that they understand, both literally because we're a global company and then figuratively because engineers and, say, the support organization speak very differently to each other and themselves. And so my role is that connective tissue. What's interesting to me about that is that's also my personal brand, is pulling people together from all different spaces and putting them into situations where they can all succeed. And so it's kind of weird that my personal brand and my professional life have found each other this way.
I am Steph Crignola. I am by day senior brand marketing manager. My title it changes all the time, so I have to remember what it actually is. But basically, I do brand marketing. We focus a lot. My company focuses a lot on content and dark social. So getting your audience to trust you before, if you're trying to sell them something or if you're trying to get them to listen to a podcast, if they kind of see you out there and they're learning from you and their network has grown from your content, then they're going to remember you and go to your stream, your show, your shop, ideally, more than anyone else's, because you've built that brand recognition with them. By night, I'm Batman.
Whoa.
Wow.
By night, I run a nonprofit Shakespeare company that these folks also are very heavily involved in. And we have been doing that for a long time. And one of the hardest things about Shakespeare is making it relevant and giving it a brand of its own in 2024 when it's been around for 400 years. So we have a very particular brand of Shakespeare, and it is Chaos Shakespeare. So we've spent a lot of time really refining that to make sure that we're delivering our niche of this very, very massive content stream in a way that brings audiences in.
Yeah. I'm Swan. I'm a full-time artist by day.
We love
I'm
it.
also a full-time artist by night. That's all I do. No, so I have been a professional graphic designer and illustrator since 2008. I have worked in a number of different industries. As far as graphic design, I've done what I refer to as click and paste graphic design, doing stuff for advertising and marketing, as well as for big sporting good logos and stuff like that. I've also been illustrating my own comics since 2011, so I do that side of it as well. I build a lot of logos and brand kits for people, so I'm very much on the art side of it. I also run a couple of groups of artists getting together, either managing them and pulling art together, or doing live streams where we pick a topic and then stream art on that with all of my art friends. And usually at any other con, I'm at an artist table, but this one I actually get to be let out and talk to people.
Aren't y'all doing that later, actually?
Yeah.
tonight.
If you want to see 18 plus art, we will be back in that room at 11:30 doing Loodle Crew. And if you want to come back to this room tomorrow at 10, we will be doing Sketching Shakespeare, where Steph will bring me a piece of Shakespeare prose and I will illustrate stuff based on it. So all of that is also, if you want to watch me make art, you can follow me on Twitch. Everything is A Swan Named Emily across the internet. Any social, if I can find it, that's the one I will add my name to. I have a YouTube with all of those as well. So that's an easy find me all over.
The way everyone's faces lit up when you said 18 plus art, by the way, just y'all are our people. We're good here.
Anyone here under 18?
Okay.
Heck yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
This is an 18. This is an all ages.
Yes.
It's mostly body parts, then is what I'll say.
All right. So last chance to put your name in this hat if you want to be considered for us making your own brand kit and logo. Yep, come on up.
Coming.
And while we do that, I'm just going to go over kind of an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be starting with the logo. Swan is going to ask some questions, get some information. We're going to talk about things to consider when you're designing a logo. We're going to go into our brand kit or press kit. It's kind of the same thing depending on who you are and what you're calling it. We're going to talk about constructing those, what to put on it, how to highlight yourself, how to talk nicely about yourself. This is a thing that I think as content creators is very, very difficult. You ask me and I'm like, I don't know, I don't do anything. You ask my husband and he's like, this. So we're going to help you do this for your brand in your brand kit. We're going to talk about strategy, which is a really important part of building that brand kit, making sure everything is coming together in a cohesive strategy. And then we're going to talk about money, which is a stressful part of building your brand, but something that's super important if you're looking for these services outside of this panel. So also this QR code is scannable. The top link is this presentation. So if you want to follow along or save for later, you can.
And all the bottom links are her personal branding stuff. So keep an eye on those too for inspiration, for proof of concept, right?
Yeah. All right. Bobby, you want to do the honors?
Always.
Bobby. Hey, who watches oh my god, it's Drew Blank. What's the show?
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, what's up? Yeah, so Bobby.
For
Deep
once,
cut.
I'm with the audience and not knowing a thing.
It's a great show.
Y'all should watch it. Yeah, Bobby is in costume once. He's a gopher, I'll spare you.
So we have a name. We have Olivia
H.
Haber. Hubert.
And thank you, Casey, for your hat.
Yes, everyone give a gigantic applause for Casey.
All right, so welcome, Olivia. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do?
My name's Olivia. I do a bunch of different things, but mostly I stream on Twitch.
Cool.
I'm sorry, I did not expect to get called on. So like my brain's like,
No, that's okay. And if I
Yeah,
can chime in real quick, like I understand it. You know, you get called, you're in front of all these people. It's kind of nerve wracking. But people are gonna ask, like, hey, what do you do? What's your brand? You may notice, you know, Swan. It's like, oh, she's done this before because she's done this before. You get used to, here's what I make and here's where it's at. And not, I'm sorry, we're putting you on the spot, but you know, it's part of it. It's a good exercise.
yeah.
What do you stream on Twitch?
I do a lot of video games. I like doing like RPGs and kind of story games, and like narrating them.
Nice.
Awesome.
Do you
Okay.
do different voices for the characters when their like lines come up and stuff?
I attempt to.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Cool,
So
cool,
yes,
cool, cool,
yes,
cool.
you
So
do.
yes, you do.
Yes,
that.
you do.
Yes, you do. If you attempt it, you do it because doing is an action, and if you have attempted something, that is an action.
And D&D teaches us that that's an action, and then you did
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
So when we talk about logos, this is the first thing, the first impression a lot of people will get of you and your brand. So this is like a collection of our logos, some of our shows, some of our streams. And here you can see how they're all very, very different, but like, oh, I'm gonna lose my mouse. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I do marketing and not tech,
Computer.
not computer. My job is not computer.
My job is beach.
Okay. So, but some of them, you know, like you can kind of see distinct personality in each of them. We try to make it clear. The Adventure Incorporated one is our D&D podcast. And so you have that like script and that like the sword and the arrow. You have our Walking Shadow, which is like a wax seal. So kind of evocative of that like classic literature. The InADDition logo is the show the four of us do, and there's nothing that describes us more than being trash pandas in monocles and top hats because we're trying real hard to be presentable, but we're not underneath it all. We're just some raccoons in monocles.
Yeah, the finding the treasure in the trash is our tagline, right? And so if you see,
Yeah. So a couple of questions to get you started. Olivia, that we are going to ask you as well. And I'm going to pull this up. I'm so sorry. On my own screen so that I have them here. So Swan, do you want to ask some logo questions? And for you all, this is a good chance to ask yourself these questions because a lot of times we're put on the spot and we don't know how to answer them because we haven't sat and thought about what those answers should be or could be. So this is a really good chance to start thinking for yourself about how you describe yourself and your brand.
So I'll say first thing for this, are you wanting to do something that is your personal brand encompassing all of the things that you work on, or is it specifically for the Twitch stream and that branded part?
I'd like to work specifically with the Twitch stream.
Sure. So yeah, hey, that's great. So what is the name?
It's Sinister, Sinister Angel.
Real quick, so it's twitch.tv/.
I think it's twitch.tv/Sinister Angel 777.
All right, everyone, make sure you go check it out. Try to
Right.
see if I can give you a plug.
yeah,
Are
if we've got the folks in the back, maybe they can throw that up on the stream as
We'll,
well for the people at home.
We'll
Yeah.
Are you on camera when you do it, or
No,
you
Okay.
said no?
yeah.
Do you have a character?
I do. One of my artist friends helped me design a little bit of my character on there.
Nice.
I have no idea what it looks like right now, but
Well, we're gonna shape it up. So
That's
let's
wonderful.
talk about like that color scheme, the imagery that you want to condense it down to.
Do you go more biblically accurate angel? Do you go more supernatural angel? Where do we land on the angel spectrum?
Is it David
I
Boreanaz?
lean more towards the sinister part.
Okay.
So my
Yeah.
Less angel.
yeah.
More sinister. Okay.
So right now I kind of have this little avatar that has a mask on, and it's kind of like the king of the underworld, sort of thing. I have like a lot of like purple flames and stuff around the outside of the Twitch screen.
No, that's good.
cool.
Purple flames. Yes. Okay. So, what is your goal in having people see the logo and the feeling they get from it? Do you want it to be kind of the mysterious? Do you want it to be more straightforward, and then once they're there, have the levels to it?
What I kind of want to aim to do is have like this like goofy like persona, and then have like some serious moments, because I do want to get a chance to talk about like some serious things that are happening in the world. But for the most part, I want it to be like light-hearted, fun,
Okay.
goofy.
That's up our alley. We're still working on the serious part.
We'll get there.
I do the funny part really well, though. Okay.
Who's your primary audience? Who are you trying to reach here? Like what age range are you?
Generally like young adult, maybe like a younger audience as well. Just because like whenever I was younger, I know that like watching all these Twitch streamers and YouTubers, like it really like changed my life and my perspective on the world, and I kind of want to aim to do that for other people as well.
Are you looking like PG-13 or
Yeah.
all ages? So like minimal swearing.
Yeah.
And then about the games that you're playing, what are the ratings of those typically?
Typically like the PG-13
Awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a Slime Rancher stream coming up.
Yes.
Looks like we got a Cult of the Lamb coming up.
You.
Looks like we got some Minecraft content on Friday.
Yes.
So yeah, you look busy. This is awesome.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, are there any specific images, icons, themes that you try to use?
Really, the most consistent thing has been the mask.
Okay. Do you have a picture of it? Maybe?
One.
Is
Okay.
it on the Twitch?
Yeah.
I
It
would
is.
say I've been on like hiatus for like a year too.
Well,
So
Hey, seriously, that's what this is for. I don't want you to like, nobody's judging.
Yep.
We're not looking at it like, oh, you didn't post last week. And all y'all out there, same thing. Like you got to start somewhere.
I
And
didn't post
so-
this week.
That's what it's about. It's about getting it up, getting it going.
Mhm.
let me actually pull up my Twitch.
Perfect.
In the back, was that a question or are you just making faces at us? I just didn't want to
We
miss.
don't talk about him.
I didn't see anything at all.
What if you had to describe what sets you apart from other Twitch streamers? I know you talked briefly about wanting to be the inspiration to younger generations coming up playing video games that you wanted to have. What about you makes you that? And this is like a big question that if you don't have an answer to right now, it's okay. But like, what are you really proud of streaming?
I don't really have an answer to that. I really like the collabs I do, and I like working with other creators. Just because I feel like I sometimes struggle like if I'm by myself, but if I have somebody to just bounce off of, I feel like I do really well with that.
Awesome.
So kind of like what you were saying earlier, just trying to bring people together and like just show like everybody's differences and what can make us work as a team.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love that. Seriously.
On the other side of that, maybe a little bit easier. What are some of your favorite moments in your personal streams?
I had one of my streamer friends recommend me a game. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I was doing a blind playthrough of it,
Cool.
and the ending had like completely like blindsided me. I was not expecting it at all. And I got to like sit on stream and talk about it with him after the stream.
Cool.
And I just that like those type of moments I really enjoy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
What a fun moment of discovery.
So do you have any more logo specific questions?
Not at the moment, but
Okay.
we're gonna put a pin in that.
Can't find a picture. I can sketch you.
We got one.
I stole it from your
sweet.
Twitch.
Yeah.
He stole it from your Twitch.
Hey,
So
look,
you're good.
we're on it.
Yeah.
Crack team.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got not good internet down here, but we are doing what we can.
We are experts at making it happen.
Yeah.
Googling.
So you mentioned like wanting to work with your collaborations are really important to you and wanting to work with other streamers. I think that's where we're going to focus this brand kit is something that we can put together for you that you can send out to other streamers and say, this is what I do. This is who I am. This is my brand. let's do a collab. Like,
Yeah.
let's get on your stream, right? And it's something that having a brand kit takes you from here to professional so fast. You don't have to do anything different. But having something that you can send to people that shows you in just a one-page snapshot is so crucial to being able to pitch yourself. You have all that information, and then you can say, hey, let's do this together.
The surprising number of like medium to large streamers or like content creators who you will ask for a brand kit because we want to do a professional collab, and they respond that they don't have one, right? Like that's one of the things that really made us realize how important this panel is it's not just, oh, I'm starting. It's, oh, we had a podcast for 5 years before we put a brand kit together for the first time. And so we avoid that pitfall now, but like want to help out and make sure that other people aren't in the same place that we were of not knowing how important that is. So.
Yeah. So these are a couple examples just from my personal content. So this is me for my personal brand and then for the podcast that I do. And you'll see that they're like a little bit different, though quite similar, just because my style is going to stay consistent across all of my platforms. And so this, you've got your stats, you've got your shows. You want to put notable moments or notable clips. So I think for you, if we can, from your old videos, if you have the VODs or if you have clips from those, start collecting them of moments you're really, really proud of. And then you can link them right in a PDF that'll take someone, if you send this to them online, it takes them right to that clip. And it shows exactly who you are in that nutshell. You want to talk a little bit about yourself, your personality, and what your goals are, a little bit about if you have any quotes from people who have watched, any comments from collaborators, that's going to be really great to feature as well. So as we kind of dive into those specific questions, hey,
I was going to say the quotes one, even if you're small, like, it doesn't have to be from who's like the biggest YouTuber out there right now or Twitch streamer.
Mr. Beast.
Ninja.
Well, I don't know if it's true, but like,
I don't know how we feel about Mr. Beast at the moment. Like,
oh, is he dead to us?
Markiplier. I don't know, but yeah. So it doesn't have to be some giant. It
Yeah.
could be anybody. If they had something pleasant to say, oh, I had a lot of fun on your stream from Mike, put that on there. That's great. It just shows other people, oh, they vouch for you. They give you a little, it's kind of like a recommendation. So it doesn't matter who it's from.
Mm-hmm. In your brand kit, you're going to want to pick some fonts. This is honestly sometimes the hardest thing to do. Ask me to pick a font. I made a whole episode of our show about what's your favorite font just so that I could pick one.
Did you pick one?
For yes, Roboto. Nice and clean, and it's on everything. But I was like, I made them do a whole half-hour episode on fonts just to do my work for me.
Made me.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Twisting arms.
Yeah.
You want to focus on your colors. It sounds like you're rooted in purple, which is really fun. That palette is great. If you are struggling with colors, go to coolers.co. Hit
free.
generate. It's free and it gives you like a 6-color color palette. So if you're someone like me who struggles with anything visual, go to Coolers. I'm gonna recycle until I find one that's purple, and then I got the hex codes for 6 different colors that complement each other.
Yeah.
I could pay a graphic artist to do that for me, but Coolers does it for free. Also hired artists.
You can lock a color and then
yes, I was just gonna say you can lock it in so it stays, so then you can build other colors out from it. And also, even if you just bring an artist that's still very helpful. That gives us it's a place to start in the conversation.
And you didn't hear this from me, but there's major big consulting firms out there. Their graphic designers use the same website.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to come up to the mic so that the folks on stream. Oh, yes. COOLORS.co. Coolers.
Yeah, but cooler than regular colors.
Cooler than colors.
Ice cold.
Ice cold. Okay. So let's
That's
get
not
into
Milli Vanilli.
and these are things that as we build the brand kit live today, like I'll put in some basic fonts just based on some answers to these questions, and then I will send you the editable thing.
Make a statement about fonts.
Yes, please.
Just one. I'm going to try and limit it to one. So something that I really like when it comes to designing logos and stuff like that, you'll find a lot of companies that don't have a ton of a graphic element their brand is just a font. Usually it will be a very specific font, either one that they made themselves or something that they now own. So whenever you use that, they will also often have another font that they use for press releases and stuff like that. So something I like with this that has more graphics to it is either a hand-drawn font or one that we found that is a part of the logo, as well as an additional font that you use. Especially with something like this, I feel like we could have more fun with more sinister tendrils and stuff like that, but not a font you would want to use for all of your text, because you want that to be very readable. And by having the more simplistic font for your basic text, it makes that logo stand out that much more, and you get the information across.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I've fallen into that pit, Swan, where you find you're like, this is cool. You try to be cute, and then you have to write a block of text.
Oh yeah.
Really,
Less
nobody
cute.
can read this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this a lot less now.
I apologize for the number of times I've accidentally hit enter your chat room on this while I'm trying to grab this picture. So when you're thinking about your press kit, you want to think about these stats that are up here, the piece of content that you're most proud of. That's what I was saying. Finding clips, finding VODs. If you've been on any podcasts or done any videos, or if you have a TikTok channel that you are really excited about a video for, that's when you want to put those links, because no matter how much work we put into a brand kit, people want to see it. They want to see you live. They want to see the proof, and giving them the links. You're just giving them the ticket to who you are. Obviously, you spend the most time on Twitch. Do you have any other social channels that you focus on?
Not at the current moment.
Okay.
It's kind of under construction right now.
Perfect. And so that's great, because it's a nice single place to funnel people, and then you can add on those other channels as you go.
On that really quickly, I did see that Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter all have the same username available for you right now, Sinister Angel 777.
Okay.
So if you want to keep that branding consistent like Swan does, which is genius, I highly recommend locking those down, even if you never use them.
Yep.
Owning them
Yep.
so that no one else can take them, and because one day you're going to be a gigantic megastar. And if you've got some bozo out there pretending to be you, right, it's going to mess with your vibe, or you might have to buy it from them or something. So park those as soon as you possibly can.
What were they again?
The ones I listed were Threads, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky.
At least get the Instagram.
At least
Yeah.
get the
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, great question. At least get the Instagram.
Question from the audience was, what are Threads and Blue Sky? They are Twitter alternatives that aren't owned by Elon Musk. Threads is owned by Meta. And so depending on your Facebook, Instagram preferences, Threads it's the easiest one to use with the most users right now, but it is another mega conglomerate one. Blue Sky is started by the guy who started Twitter. The nicest thing about Blue Sky to me, beyond the fact that it's federated, which is nerd stuff to care about, is that you can build your own custom feed so that you can actually see things chronologically, which oh my God, social media, please bring back chronological order. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So the fact that you can do it on Blue Sky alone makes it a quality platform for me. So yeah, those are just the ones off the top of my head that
I'd also jump on YouTube. I know a lot of people,
Yeah.
well,
Especially
now that
if
we're
you're
saying
doing
TikTok,
Twitch. Yeah.
I know it's a lot, but you pick the ones that you like and you would use. Don't,
Yeah.
But yeah, with Twitch, you can easily move it over to YouTube. You can easily move it over to TikTok.
And there's nothing wrong with recycling your content and using it in multiple
don't let
places.
anybody tell you otherwise.
No, because
Yeah.
if I spend time illustrating something and I videoed it, I will put it up on TikTok. I'll put it up on Instagram. I'll put it up on YouTube. The goal is for people to find me, and I want to put that in as many places as I can possibly be found.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of us, small to mid to not mega star creators, we get caught up in a lot of the stuff that the people at the top of these social media platforms talk about, right? Oh, how do I game the algorithm? And it's dog, how do you make the content is where we're at, right? So don't be pressed about the algorithm until you know what you're doing and how you're doing it, and you're starting to see that growth. Focus on you first. the algorithm's gonna suck forever.
And it's going to change.
Right. And so if you start chasing it before you're like in your mode, you're gonna burn out way too fast.
Mhm.
So like do the thing that you can't help but do.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get a little bit more information from you, and then we're going to open it up to Q&A, and Tony and Mike to kind of take the wheel
Oh,
while
sorry.
Swan and I do a little grind. If you could describe your personality in as many words as you have in your brain, what would you use? I think 3 to 5, but
So probably just all over the place, ADHD moment, just bouncing from one thing to the other.
yeah, there's a reason the ADD are capitalized on our show name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just like, I guess like I really like that kind of like, oh, this is happening. Wait, what's this doing? Like kind of that bounce between two different topics.
Okay.
So I would say enthusiasm for many things.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, that was
Perfect.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me know if you need me to scroll at all. I think the next one is
And connection, maybe? So enthusiasm and connection.
Community
People in
connection.
the
I keep coming back to that, talking to people about
Yeah,
the
the
games. That
collaboration.
really excites me. Yes, the
Yeah.
collaboration part.
Yeah, because it's a thing that like lots of people stream games. Not as many people talk to the people who like influence them to play that game. I think that's such a cool
Yeah,
angle.
seriously.
And like if that's something that brings you joy,
Mhm.
like that is neat. That is so neat.
I'm really lucky to be a part of a small community of streamers right now. And so a lot of us will bounce off each other and like do collabs with each other.
That's super cool.
That's
Do y'all
awesome.
have a like collaborative brand or collaborative group name? Or
No, it's
Okay.
more, we all have like our different things that we do, but like occasionally like back whenever I was streaming regularly, I think we would try to do once a week for like the Minecraft streams. We would get at least like 3 or 4 creators on there and try to do like things between like being like super goofy and then like some like story and like dramatic moments.
Cool.
That's
cool,
rad.
cool.
awesome. You guys want to talk about strategy a little bit while we?
Yeah,
Dig
we
in?
kind of got into it a little bit already.
I think
just
you're free
around.
if you want to go back and sit down and not be in
Oh,
the hot
yes,
spot
yes,
anymore.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Give Olivia a round of applause.
Yeah,
And again, if
Olivia,
y'all have questions, you can line up at the mic here.
Olivia, thank you so much. Also, before you leave here, everybody follow Sinister Angel 777 on Twitch. You got this.
Yeah, I know it's hard to come and be in front of the room and then answer, fairly personal questions about why you create. So thank
Yeah,
you. I
yeah.
know that's rough, a little being personal.
But here in the digital media track, that's like that's the brand of the track, right? Is
Right.
that like we're in a place now and in 2024 where you can create with this. And so like everyone can be up here, right? And so that is like the impetus of all of this. And so great work on that. Great work showing people that that's true.
Yeah, you guys can come up to the mic. I'll share a personal story. Like kind of to that point, I've been coming to this I don't know how long, and probably did digital media track stuff 5, 6. Yeah, again, I lose track. I'm not good with days. But really, before I made my first podcast, I came to these tracks. I learned to kind of talk more about it. Then I met friends, and I met more friends. Then we collaborated, and like it had big effects on my job, my life, like where I ended up. So it was very rewarding to. It's hard to put yourself out there, but when you start putting yourself out there and making your content, it honestly changed my life. And I know that sounds like hyperbole, but 100% doing that stuff changed my life. So before I start crying, let's take some questions.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk a little bit about
Yeah,
strategy
yeah,
while
sure.
we're waiting for anything. So a couple of things that you see on this slide up here are on the far right of the slide, you will see Steph's podcast, Protest Too Much, used a template for all of their social media posts, which lets people know as they're scrolling through the feed, even before they've read the content, they know this is a Protest Too Much episode announcement. Now, who's on that episode? What is it? Where can I find it? Where can I find the person that's on that episode, right? So it functions like in multiple levels as a way to catch your eye, and immediately oh, this is exactly what it is. And so people who follow Protest Too Much, they'll see this every week in their feed. They'll know a new episode is out. They'll know who the guest is. They'll know what you're talking about, and they'll know, okay, time to go download the episode and listen, right? In the comments, usually that post would do a little bit more of the tagline. Sometimes it would feature a quote. Sometimes it would feature the link, because we would do, or she would do. It happened in my house. It felt like
You're a team, man.
Yeah. She would do a poll every week. Essentially, the structure of the show was the guest comes on Protest Too Much with an argument that Steph has said, this is the argument. And then the guest says, great, I'm arguing this side of the argument, and you're arguing that side. So
protest, now you get it.
Yeah. Man. So who would be the worst Tinder date in Shakespeare's canon, right? And so the guest is arguing Hamlet, and Steph is arguing objectively nice boy Lysander, right? And so Steph finds out at the episode, oh, great, I'm arguing for the good guy. Here we go. And so that's kind of the structure of her show. So there would be a link in her bio to vote every week on the episode that gets posted. Notice I said every week. This brings us to the content calendar section here. Tony, you want to talk a little bit about regularity?
Oh boy. How'd you know? So yes, regularity, consistency. The biggest takeaway is consistency, right? You want to be consistent. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean you have to post every day? No. Does it mean you post once a week? Well, does that work for you? So the consistency is whatever cadence works for you. Everybody has their own life. Everybody has jobs. They have kids. They have whatever, so don't say something like every day if you can't do it every day. Which every day, by the way, is extremely difficult to remember to post or to schedule to post and to come up with the content. You're not going to become, a Twitch millionaire overnight. So don't burn yourself out and make it not fun. So find something consistent, especially Twitch is very interesting in that one because you can stream anytime. I saw on yours, you already had the schedule for the next stream. So if that works for you, in between whatever your schedule may be, try to stick to what you established, but establish something that you can do and keep up, and don't burn yourself out, and don't try to be crazy with it. I feel like at some point, one of us have tried to do a daily show, maybe.
Yeah. Or at least a show that releases daily.
Yeah.
If we weren't recording daily, right? Tony and I were on a show actually with the track director here, Charles McFall.
Charles?
Called Almost
him.
Daily Discourse. Again, that ADHD, ADD kind of concept, right? Where we would record 4 episodes in one go every week. And then we would release them on the other 4 days. So we would record a live stream on Wednesdays, and then Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, an episode would come out on the podcast feed. Yo, daily is hard. We all had regular jobs because we weren't paying the bills with podcasting. We're regular folks, and so that didn't work.
You will most likely eventually burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And it's just not a fun place to be because it's something that was fun that you were enjoying that now maybe you don't enjoy. So that's my biggest thing. Please take care of yourself in doing this and don't burn yourself out and ruin something that brought you joy. Hey, come on up. Yeah, sorry.
I am developing a board game.
Ooh.
A raunchy board game.
Let's go.
So,
Are you coming to Loodle Crew?
Also, is the name of the board game raunchy?
It is not. It's
Can-
called Innuendo.
Ooh,
I like
nice.
Okay.
Very good.
So, but I also play video games.
Okay.
That and I play Counter-Strike 1.6.
Nice.
So it is old school.
Yeah, classic.
Usually, yeah. People are usually around 30 or so. The talk in there gets very raunchy.
Sure.
So, is it? I do that to wind down.
Yep.
I also work a full-time job
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So, is it smart to start streaming, playing that because it does have to do with raunchy things? Or should I keep that as wind down time because do I want to build the following to help with the board game by
Great
doing
question.
What a good
Great
question.
Oh, God, it's so delicious.
A follow-up question.
Yeah.
So, how do you think playing Counter-Strike would bring people to the board game?
It would just be, clearly people who don't mind dirty talk
Mm,
would be the ones that would be willing to follow.
got it.
So if they go out and play party games because it is going to be like a party game, then they would be, potentially buying the game as well when it comes out.
Yeah. I personally, I think what I might do is the board game a like card based like
It will be. Think of it as the best way to put it is a cross between Taboo, Pictionary, and charades.
nice.
But it is based on cards and different rounds and different points.
Cool.
And stuff like that.
Can you do it virtually? Because if you could play a round of your game on Counter-Strike as a like proof of concept.
Not on Counter-Strike, but you could do it on Twitch.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make it work if you don't mind losing, right? Like the call outs might get in the way of trying to make a dirty pun.
So this is just my thought, and I welcome you to do whatever you want. I'm not the end all be all, but I feel like the gap between Counter-Strike and the game is too big.
Yeah.
That I don't think you're going to get a bunch of people like, oh, if you love Counter-Strike, you'll love this raunchy card game. I think that's a really hard connection. So I wouldn't want to ruin your fun hobby. Like from my wind down is Wingspan. I play Wingspan a lot. And so like I wouldn't want to ruin that or take it away, make it work. Now
Yeah.
it's work, But if you were to like get in those party pack Twitches and the I don't know if there's Taboo or whatever, if it related more and you got in those communities, then I think it's an easy sell.
Okay.
But I feel like again the gap between those two is really big.
Perfectly fine. I just was thinking of, what would be a good way to help.
Of
build,
course.
like, a
Yeah,
Kickstarter
build the
and for people
community
to,
and
go to it and everything. But yeah, I also didn't want to overwork myself.
Yeah,
Like, you
please.
said, I
honestly,
think
Please.
honestly, keep 1.6 to yourself. Like make that your time. Keep it special. Oh, we got some mic repairs.
Woo.
Let's go.
we're gonna-
Round of applause for all of our chat
Yeah.
volunteers.
Doesn't happen without them, seriously.
Right?
No.
Have you seen us try to get stuff done?
Awesome.
Okay, so I have a question about branding content inconsistency. So
Sure.
being consistent with the schedule, obviously great. Some streamers have a certain niche that they like to stick to. Me and my buddy are not those people. And
Variety
I
streamers,
like
let's go.
doing everything that I can. So like I recently got into cars. I'm thinking about posting some stuff about that and like working and learning on YouTube. Whereas like on Twitch, I'm streaming a lot of video games, but those video games are
Not car games.
very widely different than anything. So like I can go from like playing Rocket League to playing a shooter,
Sure.
or from a shooter to an RPG game. It just kind of depends on the day and the mood that I'm in. So my question is more like, how do you brand something so consistently inconsistent?
Great question. And you've come to the right panel. At that point, it becomes a personal brand, I think. Right. Your name?
I go by Cora.
Cora?
Cora.
So, this is Cora's brand now. And Cora's into cars and RPGs and this and that and this. And Cora is a well-rounded brand, right? And so that's what you start driving toward. It's like,
Driving. If I can jump in there, that was a big problem for me.
Yeah.
Is that I do too much and it's too different. Everything that I do is D&D. It was a variety stream.
Do you
it was
like Shakespeare and soccer?
right.
It's,
Oh,
a
yeah.
Shakespeare podcast. It's just too many things, right? And so I was really struggling for a long time to figure out how to streamline that. And what I did kind of these exercises with myself, and what I narrowed in on is the fact that everything I do is about telling a story and finding the humanity in what we're doing. So we're talking about soccer, we're talking about the boys, we're, talking about Shakespeare, we're talking about the human stories that are happening. And so I built my personal brand off of the Freytag triangle, the Freytag pyramid. Any English nerds in the audience?
You
Which
might have
is
to
the like
explain it. Yeah.
which is the storytelling arc. So you start with your exposition, you have your conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. It's the shape that this
I thought you were in a rock climbing.
also it looks like a rock climbing wall, which I also do.
And for
and-
podcast.
And also it looks like a waveform for audio podcasting. But mostly I was rooting myself in the stories that I try to tell in all of these different things. So focusing on that one single image helped me kind of like narrow down the because it's so hard. So find the thing that is interesting to you in all of those things. What is it about cars? Is it the technical stuff? Is it just learning? Is it growing? Is it changing? Like what is it that makes you excited about all of those different things? And distill it down very, very hard. And very, very rewarding when you hit it. And like you can find us all online. We'd be happy to chat with you more about it too after this. But find that one thing that connects it all together and lean into that.
Okay.
And I'll say with that, what's really, really nice. So my brand, A Swan Named Emily brand, is art. It's all things art. It's all different types of art and everything. But much like having a table at Comic-Con, the swan you meet at the show is my performance show. It is my selling stuff. It is talking to the audience. The same thing when I'm on Twitch or any of that. And by having that as the brand, I can use that as the performance part. And then I can kind of hang that up at the end of the night and step away from it. And so even though it's my name, it is separate enough that they're not so intertwined that I can't then take a break from that persona and just be the calm, quiet, sit at my desk and draw for 12 hours that I want to be.
Yeah.
So that's in that way, it almost protects you from having it bleed so heavily into your own life. And you can then use that brand. And then if you do decide to do other stuff, you can incorporate that and decide if you want it under the same umbrella.
Thank you guys. The same way. I went my full name is Tony P. Henderson. My brand was Tony P. And it was a character. I think we showed her like a character of me. So I would use that character in my socials, in my stuff. But it was never one thing. It wasn't like I had a car steering wheel or anything. So it was just more about my personality, maybe your personality or whatever it is you want to put across. So yeah, nothing wrong with variety streamer.
Yeah.
That's a thing, so like they said, find that what's unique to you.
Yeah, obviously, like Steph and I do the Shakespeare podcast together, or the soccer podcast together. We do the Shakespeare company together. We do like I'm huge into rock climbing and also cars, and so my personal brand is just my long ass arms, because that's like one of the things that for me is like most immediately identifiable as who I am and something that I really love. And so like,
it doesn't shut up about it.
When I made my brand kit, like the concept was my arms are wide open because I'm trying to bring everything together. Right. And so like, find that thing for you. That is that through line. Great question though.
Yeah, and good luck, man. Keep us posted.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
share all of it.
I was going to say, if you have a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel, like shout it out. Gamer_bug. Let's go. Putting them down on the list.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, so I'm sorry if I am asking the same question.
No need for apologies. Please ask whatever you like.
So I'm having a little bit of a struggle with the personal brand versus the content.
Yeah.
So I started a podcast many years ago when I thought I knew what I was doing, and then I didn't. I just did one episode. And that's
None of us do know what we're doing.
But the podcast is Scattered Out Loud: Adventures of an Attention Deficit Multipod.
Let's go.
Okay, so a multi-potentialite is someone who has many different interests. You hyper focus on that interest. You're really good at it, and then you're bored with it.
Have
and
you
go
met
to the
Cora?
next thing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
or my friend Tony.
right. So in that, I feel I won't need to do multiple podcasts, just different seasons under that one umbrella.
That's genius.
I like it.
But I'm having trouble with, do I need to cross the two streams with the podcast versus Harley, the audio editor? Do they need to be the same? Because I also edit podcasts for other people. Do they cross or do they stay separate?
Ooh.
What do I do with that?
Yeah, I keep my personal life and work life probably more intertwined, I think, than anyone else on the panel except Swan, who is by day and by night a swan named Emily everywhere on the internet. Like, I love to bring those two things together because you never know who in your professional life is going to be into the thing that you're doing in your personal life. But where you're like create or like helping edit audio for other creators, I think there's always a risk that like, are you trying to like take advantage of the working relationship that you have to build your own personal brand from that, right? And so do you have an experience with this or a perspective?
Yeah, I like keeping them separate. Now that doesn't have to be the case, but it sounds like you said you edit. I feel like that's more a separate job or a separate thing that's not part of the brand that you were doing. Like I edit video and I try to keep, no, you're good. Come back up.
Okay.
Try to edit video.
So as an editor, I feel like it would be more professional.
Yes.
Whereas with podcasts, it's more the creative side.
Yeah.
It's letting my brain, because the logo itself for the podcast is an octopus. Well, it's a lady with octopus hair, so
love
her
it. That's so
tentacles
good.
are going into all different ways.
yes.
That's the
Yeah,
scattered
We love a
aspect
visual
of it.
shorthand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel I don't want the editing part to
Correct.
to be like, oh well, she can't focus.
She's all
Well,
over
actually,
the place.
I love editing and I hyper focus on it, and I'm like, I pay so much attention to detail
Me too. I
that it
love
takes longer than it should.
Yeah.
But I want
Me
a
too, I
great
love it.
product.
Don't lead with that though.
Yeah.
So I just feel like this is professional, this is fun, and maybe
Yes.
I should keep them separate.
I feel like you answered your own question.
Okay.
I happen
Well, when
to
I saw her examples up there,
love it.
it seems like they were sort of crossed a little bit because you're like, no.
It's crossed for content, but nothing ever overlaps. Like my professional, like my LinkedIn for my real job
Mhm.
doesn't have this on it. So
Okay.
like it's tough being a professional editor because it is a profession. But it's not, I still keep it pretty separate.
Okay.
And your
Okay.
mileage may vary. Like
Yeah.
it differs from, what your profession is, what your side things are. For me, I keep them separate. Like to her point, my LinkedIn is professional me. My brand and stuff is a little bit different. My brand character, if you will, persona may curse, may be silly, may be unprofessional,
Mhm.
loves capybaras,
Okay.
My professional editor loves editing and knows these softwares, and I keep it
So it
separate.
sounds like I need to
Yeah.
separate.
And there's
Oh.
nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
because we talked about, I'm going to be doing an 18 plus stream later. I am not afraid to do more adult content in that, but the professional, let me design your professional logo isn't the same aspect of what I do. So being able to go into a client interview, present a portfolio that is catered to that, I show them very different art that I worked on. I think all of the art that I do helps to serve me becoming a better artist and becoming a better designer.
Mhm.
But I, much like they taught us years ago, catering your cover letter or your resume to the specific
Yeah,
place
yeah.
you're going,
Mhm.
I cater my portfolio to what I'm doing. If I'm looking to do a character version of somebody or an avatar or Twitch emotes or something like that, I'll show more cartoony stuff, my more illustrative side. If I'm doing more corporate branding, I will show the very specific, here's where I followed the brand guidelines. Here's where I did all of these things that make me good at paying attention to these little details and giving you a crisp and clean logo.
Right.
And that's a very nice, they don't have to cross, and that's a nice thing for me and just makes it easier.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Awesome. I hope that helped. We got time for one more, right? One more question.
Yeah,
Then you
absolutely.
do
And
your
then
wrap?
we're gonna do our show and
Yep.
tell.
Perfect.
Ooh,
Oh, we have a stream
let's do
queue.
the
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
the in-person question, and then we'll get the stream. Yeah.
All good.
So, hi,
Hey.
What's your name? What do you do?
I'm JD Williams, and I decided in December to kind of start my own music label.
Let's go.
So, I have a logo that I like.
Okay.
Hey,
Um,
yay.
The question that I have is, should I like take that logo and copyright it some type of way? Is there a process for that? And then once I copyright it, then I can kind of put it out everywhere. I'm already kind of using it in a couple of social media places, but just kind of
Wanting to protect yourself.
right, wanting
Yeah.
to protect that logo because I really, really like what it is.
Yeah.
So-
My
Logo would be trademark, right? Swan, do you have the capacity to speak to that right now?
don't know
You know?
that a ton.
Good news. I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice. But my non-legal
Non-lawyer legal
advice
advice.
would be to talk to a lawyer. And I know it sounds crazy because we're just people, but like
Just normal men.
there are so many pro bono and artist-focused
Yes.
lawyers and legal resources out there. We're from Austin, Texas, and in Texas, even Texas has an entire like set of legal representation for artists and arts communities, and like the businesses that spring up around creative arts. And so find that in your local area. I'm sure at Dragon Con there are people who are already connected to those spaces. And so the more people you talk to, the more people you interact with, reach out to other businesses in the area doing like music production and talk to them about how they went through that, right? Like something I think is more true than we maybe believe is that everyone's in this together, and everyone in an industry generally wants people to succeed and be part of it and grow, right? Because if there are more people doing it, it's just a bigger community, and there's more pie for everybody, and everybody loves pie. So
Yeah, I'm the old skeptic though. So keep an eye out on your logo.
yeah, don't share the logo, but
like get it trademarked.
So
Yeah.
talk to the artist who made it if they know, or hit up the artist communities. So I know there's tons of stuff that I don't know, and I will go to the Discord of artists that I run and be like, hey, has anybody ever done this? How do you go about protecting it? And in a silly way, the thing we mentioned earlier is locking down all of the socials and having the brand attached to it, so that anywhere anybody looks, that's what it's attached to. Whether you're starting your stuff or not, you have that internet ownership of it, which is a very weird thing to say, but that kind of
But it's real.
it is. And it's, if people have seen it and already associated those two together, you're kind of getting over that initial hurdle. But yeah, there's they go to Reddit and ask.
Yeah, my favorite lawyer in the entertainment space that I know of is my lawyer friend all across the internet. He works with the Quid Pro Roll podcast, which is a tabletop RPG podcast out of Richmond, Virginia. Highly recommend asking if they have recommendations for wherever you're located, right? Lawyers love to tell you to talk to other lawyers, and like they love to give recommendations and share that wealth because they get more pie. So
Indeed. All right, thank
great
you.
question though. And what's the name of your studio?
It's Kasai Productions.
Kasai?
Kasai
Can you spell it?
Productions. Kasai.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike's taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will be around. We'll hang around after
Yes.
to grab some questions at the end if you do have some specific ones for us. But we are running up on time. So Swan, do you want to show what you have done for Olivia?
In 1 second.
Okay, great. I will show what I have done for Olivia. Oh God. Gosh dang it.
You just turn the monitor around at this point.
Uh,
Say that again.
yeah, but
we
I can't see it. That's the
Yeah, cut off. So what I'll say while they're pulling that up, seriously, all you are here because you have like, oh, I want to think about that. I want to do something. Please do it. Like I said, it's sincerely making this stuff, getting into it really honestly changed my life for the better. And it was a lot of fun, and I met a lot of awesome people. So I really hope you do your Twitch streams, you do your variety streams. I think it helps other people. It's great to find those communities. So if you have an interest, please do it. Make it happen.
great. So we've got a very basic press kit for half hour. Rooting in the purples. We've got the purple flames. You want to talk about yourself? I took your tagline from Twitch. I can't even read it. Kiddo
An
searching for
awkward kiddo seeking dopamine.
yeah. So we've got your logo, that mask that you're rooted in, a little bit about you. You're going through stories, you're finding the stories and things, but also you're about community. It's not just about the games. We did a few angel puns, don't you worry. this space could be used for a quote from someone about your channel. And then you'll have put down here, you'll put these links to the clips that you're really passionate about that you feel showcase yourself. And then just basic contact down at the bottom. So just pretty standard. This is the information you want. If you don't have thousands of followers, you don't have to put your numbers on here. You can be proud of your channel. You don't have to follow suit of what other people have done to put stats and likes and follows. Just focus on the things that you're really excited about and really proud of. All right, Swan, you ready?
I got it. Okay. So I did two options. Please let me. Thank you. So we've got one, and I will say just as something that I worry about with this, and it is the shorthand, the visual shorthand that we talked about. So I have one where you've got the mask that you were talking about and then the logo inside. The only thing that I was struggling with this one is it's getting a little bit too close to Chicago Bulls iconography. And it's just that you don't want people to associate those two, even subconsciously. So it's one where I would still want to play with really bringing the text a lot more forward and kind of pushing that mask, maybe making it one color or just having it be kind of in like hazy white. So you still get that incorporation, but you're not getting that mixed messaging. And then the other one I went with was more of this kind of, I was thinking like the Tower of Terror or any of those where you've got the icon up top and then like a shadow that's being cast down. So the text is coming down towards you and it's really pulling that, but you're still getting that mask incorporated and stuff like that. So the font where it's a little bit sinister, a little bit haunted, but kind of that, there's a word for it that I cannot think of right now because I've been drawing.
Goofy.
Yeah.
Can you turn over here as well? So
Oh,
we
yeah.
can see that?
There's my,
Goofy.
And we'll have this up here.
Yes, so you can
We'll
see
get your contact information to send you these files to edit and
Yeah,
everything.
so you
Thank you
can-
so much for being here. If you have questions,
Yeah.
we will be around. But that is our time for today. Thank you so much. If you want me to put that QR code back up for the presentation, I can do that as well. Thanks for being here. Happy
thank you,
Dragon Con.
everyone.
Oh my goodness. Y'all kill it every time.
It's a crunch. The 3 of us.
Yeah.